Bob Chesney tabs his first James Madison staffer to come with him to UCLA. It's Dean Kennedy. The Bruins have a new offensive coordinator. No more is it Jerry Neuheisel.
You are Locked On UCLA, your daily podcast on the UCLA Bruins. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome, everybody, to this edition of Locked On UCLA. I'm your host, Zach Anderson-Yoxsimer. Thanks. They show your first listen every day. Welcome back, everydayers. As you know, things changing, things in a fluid situation for UCLA's coaching staff. So as Bob Chesney figures it out, or as it's reported, in this case by Matt Zenitz of CBS Sports 24/7 Sports, talking about UCLA bringing over Dean Kennedy. He's been Bob Chesney's offensive coordinator the last 2 years at James Madison, dating back to the Holy Cross days when Bob Chesney was running the offense with Matt Sluka, this year with Alonzo Barnett III. So the question is, are they bringing an entire offense? Is it a Wayne Knight coming in, James Madison's top-tier running back? Will they bring in a Barnett? Is this a sign to convince Nico to come in, something that's stable and thrives on a dual-threat QB system? Well, this is a scoring offense that's top 10. We'll see how successful it is. We'll get a trial run as UCLA fans to watch it. Already saw it versus Troy a little bit, but against Oregon and their fairly physical front in Eugene in the CFP first round. So you've got Kennedy, who had a top 20 offense in the FCS, and he's worked at Florida and Mississippi State, an assistant QB coach at Florida in 2020 and 2021. So that means Jerry Neuheisel won't be the offensive coordinator. He won't be calling plays. And I always thought a little bit that Jerry had to leave, not because it was for anything that he was doing well or bad. He just seemed, in this case, maybe needs to take a step back from UCLA. Maybe he stays. I don't really know that at this moment, to go elsewhere and call the plays in his own right in a more stable situation compared to what UCLA had last year, which was a dumpster fire that was handed to him and Tim Skipper and company and Kevin Coyle, while UCLA is bringing in new people, trying to make inroads with the new SoCal recruits, the new UCLA, the fan base. Jerry's going to have to go elsewhere. While for Dean Kennedy, more of a run-first offense, I wonder how this appeals to, in my last episode, I talked about Colton Joseph, a Sun Belt Offensive Player of the Year, who is in the portal, where James Madison's quarterback could follow their JMU coaches, or is this a reason for Nico to stay, build his stock, and follow Bob Chesney to wait? I can go to the promised land. This is a guy that has utilized physical blocking up front, guys that can protect me and not just have Nico get pressure in his face every so often. So this is a sign that UCLA is making things happen. So this was reported by Matt Zenitz. We'll see how Kennedy thrives in the Big Ten. And I was okay with the offense. It seemed like UCLA, when we were all watching that Sun Belt Championship game, Troy kept it a lot closer than expected. They thrived. JMU did on the athleticism of their quarterback, but it's a run-first team. Physical, physical, physical. And if you're going to go with a Nico Iamaleava as your starting QB, that's what Tennessee was, a very physical team a couple of years ago. Even this year when Joey Aguilar was slinging it around, week one against Syracuse, they're still physical and racking up close to 200 yards on the ground. So if UCLA, if they're going to keep Nico, if they're going to go elsewhere, they are going to still be a ground and pound offense. There are multiple rushing quarterbacks, dual threat QBs. In some cases, you might even say Nico was a run first QB, and that could take the pressure off his shoulders and just simplify the passing game. Get him easy pitch and catch, hit the receiver, whoever it might be, whether it's UCLA's incumbent receivers, whether it's the returners or somebody else in the portal. This is the first step. So now we know, all right, UCLA wants to be physical and run the football. And while JMU has put up some points, they need to showcase that, hopefully, in this game against Oregon and shock everybody, and that will turn everybody who's in the portal, who's thinking of maybe signing later for signing day in February for football, that UCLA is a destination. So it's not like there's a lot of pressure for JMU to win this game. It's to prove they can compete against Oregon. And if, dare I say, they upset Dan Lanning and company, with a strong defense, with Chesney, with some good, strong offensive play, calling by Dean Kennedy, huge. But UCLA is pivoting away from the Chip Kellys, moving away from the Eric Bieniemys and the Tino Sunseries. This is somebody who's been established, working his way up with Chesney at the FCS level, successful with James Madison at a successful level, winning a bowl game, getting his team to a playoff in Dean Kennedy. So this is huge. We'll see how it looks like. It's an intriguing hire, but you would assume Chesney's going to choose some of his guys to follow him, and the guys who have been successful are going to finish the blueprint. I wonder what it's going to look like now that you might have a little more access to better athletes, whether it be in the receiving core, bigger and better O-linemen, although James Madison has been a physical front defensively and offensively, even more so than UCLA has been in recent years, and just somebody who's established as a play caller. The Bruins' last few play callers between Bieniemy, who we didn't really know what it was like coming for him out of the Chiefs organization, kind of failed with the Commanders. Good swing and a miss for Deshaun Foster, but that failed. Tino Sunseri was co-offensive coordinator, getting his first chance. That failed. UCLA parted ways with Tino. Jerry, who obviously stunned everybody with the mastery of Penn State, with those couple of wins, but he was calling plays for the first time. The Bruins finally have a true, tried and true play caller for the first time since Chip Kelly, who ironically got fired by the Raiders for his poor year. So it's been a while since UCLA has somebody who's actually called plays before, an offensive coordinator that can figure things out and has a proven track record. Not part of a staff. No, he is the dude. So this is, I think, an intriguing hire. I'll say it's a good hire because he's following with Chesney, but I think there'll be a little bit of a vibe change. You go from what was Tino's very complex Indiana-like offense from the West Coast offense to what was Jerry Neuheisel's offense, heavily influenced by Noel Mazzoni's schemes, because the UCLA is trying to change a playbook to something that could fit their players' skill sets in this most recent season. Anyways, this offense is not going to work if the Bruins don't severely upgrade the offensive line, get some depth, and get physical in a hurry. They need to add to the tight ends, and the Bruins are going to have to choose, is this Nico's team with the new offense and better O-linemen, or is this a complete overhaul, wipe everything out offensively, and get the Bruins into a more of a ground and pound game? Those are decisions that will be made by Chesney in time when they've got a better idea as to what's coming from JMU, if anything, from the Sun Belt, from the portal, and where they can start with what they have at UCLA. But Kennedy comes to UCLA, Matt Zenitz had it first. I think it was confirmed by Pete Nakos. The Bruins are building a staff, as one would expect, with Bob Chesney. With more stuff, like, comment, subscribe, download with Locked On UCLA. In the meantime, hands up Bruins fans, 8 clap time, baby. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, UCLA. UCLA fight, fight, fight. Meanwhile, for Jerry, obviously there's the rumblings and rumors that Rick Neuheisel might go to Washington State. Jerry could follow him there. Jerry has been interviewing at other places, so that probably was a sign that he was going to go get an opportunity elsewhere. We thank him for being a Bruin, and we can't wait till we can count the days that Jerry Neuheisel is back in UCLA blue and gold at some time in the future in a super successful role, either during or in the way future after the Bob Chesney era is over. But Jerry, thank you, and if it's the end of his UCLA tenure for now, thank you for the memories against Penn State and that 3-game winning streak. But until next time, Zach signing off, saying, go Bruins.